Hello everyone! Kumusta? My name is Che and welcome to my channel, Mabuhay from Philippines. Today, I want to share with you how I grow Cattleya seedlings or how I care for my Cattleya seedlings. These orchids in front of us are some of my Cattleyas that I grow from seedlings. Cattleya seedlings, depending on the size and care, can bloom or flower within 2 years. And luckily for me, I have one that had bloomed for me in less than 2 years. Allow me to show you some of my Cattleya seedlings and how I care for them. I will also include their pictures when I brought them here more than a year ago. This is how I grow Cattleya seedlings. I plant them in semi-hydro setup using plastic cups with lava rocks and hydroton or leca. I have a video showing you my Cattleya seedlings collection, and there I also showed you how I plant them in this setup. This one is Cattleya Mishima Elf. The tag is already covered with algae as well as the medium, but I am not bothered by it. This one is another Cattleya seedling, and here's the ID. And this seedling is due for a repot. This is how they look like without the brown pots. I used the pots to stabilize the cups in the shelf, and I planted my Cattleya seedlings in semi-hydro because before we always leave this house. We leave this house for up to 3 weeks because we were not staying here before, and semi-hydro setup saved them from drying out. This is where I grow them. In our garage, indoors and bright area. They also receive direct sun for a few minutes in the morning. Only few are left here because I have repotted my other Cattleya seedlings in larger pots. This is how I water my Cattleya seedlings in semi-hydro setup. I fill the cup with water or with fertilized water up to the hose. The water can last up to 2 weeks and the medium can stay moist for another week. I also flush them regularly to avoid mineral buildups in the medium. And this is how I flush them. I cover the holes and fill the cup with water like this. Here's the level of the water, enough to soak the medium. I let it sit for a while and then I drain the water out. I do this at least 2 times before I fill this up with fertilized water. After flushing, I fill the bottom of the cup with fertilized water. I use 30-10-10 NPK water-soluble fertilizer, and when I run out of it, I use 20-20-20. My fertilized water for this setup is a mixture of NPK, calcium nitrate, magnesium sulfate, and orgamine DA. These are 2 of the Cattleya seedlings that I repotted in larger pots more than a month ago. They are no longer in semi-hydro setup. They are in plastic pots with lava rocks and hydroton, and I also placed thin layer of sphagnum moss on top. This is Copper Queen. After I repotted her in this pot, she continued to grow well. After I repotted them from semi-hydro setup to larger pots, I also transferred them outdoors in my garden, and I have a video showing you my small outdoor orchid garden, and if you haven't watched that video yet, I will include the link in the description. Wow, this one is already big, and I hope that this will flower soon. This is her ID tag. I will show you later how I water these cattleyas outdoors. Cattleya seedlings love moisture, and I water these orchids every day. This is where I place them. This is where I grow them now after I repotted them from semi-hydro setup. And these are the rest of the Cattleya seedlings that I repotted from semi-hydro to these plastic pots. These are the Cattleyas that we repotted 8 months ago. And I bought them as Cattleya seedlings. I planted them in semi-hydro setup, and when they grew larger, I repotted them in larger pots. And now this one, I think, is already in blooming size. This is already big. Let me show you the ID tag. I can't pull it out, so I will just show it to you. Let me try again. Well, it's stuck, so I will just post the name on the screen. She had grown a lot. If you haven't watched that repot video yet, I will also include the link in the description. After repotting them, I also transferred them outdoors, just like the other 2 cattleyas that I showed you. This is the other Cattleya that we repotted, and compared to the other one, this is smaller. I repotted them before in black pots, and I transferred them in these white pots. She had grown this one pseudobulb and this new one, and I think I need to repot her again and position her in the center. Let's see if I can pull her ID tag. And this is her ID. Maybe this is a small type Cattleya, and I hope that she will bloom this year. I hope that they will bloom very soon. And this is my first Cattleya that I grew from a seedling to bloom. This is her ID tag, and I think that she is mislabeled because she has different flowers, and her flowers are very fragrant. After blooming, she is now growing this new growth, and I hope that this new growth will also bloom when it matures. The pseudobulbs were growing in different directions, so I used soft wire to tie them together. I planted this before in a self-watering pot, and then I repotted her in this plastic pot. This is also grown outdoors, and I will show you where I placed them. This is how I water my cattleyas outdoors, and I water them every day when it is not raining. Cattleyas love to dry out between waterings, but my cattleyas and all of my other orchids here are watered every day when it is not raining because we have a warm environment and it is also windy here. I also use inorganic media for my orchids. And for the fertilizer, I fertilize my Cattleya seedlings and my other Cattleyas here whenever I fertilize my other orchids. And I use the same fertilizer with all of my other orchids here. I have a video how I fertilize my orchids, and I will include the link of that video in the description. And they are all back in the table. I hope that you like this video, and if you have questions or thoughts, I hope that you will leave them in the comments below. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for watching. Maraming salamat. Paalam. See you on my next videos.